I heard a good case this morning. You know, parenting styles can be an emotional source of conflict for married couples, particularly when the bulk of the child rearing falls on the man's shoulders. You are about to see how a 10-year marriage has reached its breaking point over this kind of conflict.
Divorce court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Chrystian and Sandra. Mr. and Mrs. Dulac, you have been married for 10 years, but you don't want to be married any longer. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Dulac. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your union and why we're here today in divorce court?
Well, basically, Your Honor, I'm Mr. Mom, and I do everything with the kids, starting from morning to get them up, breakfast, lunch, take them to school, take them back, the sport practices, everything over the weekend. And I just would like to have a bit more support and understanding from my wife. We both work from home. It's very demanding, but it's always me that takes charge of the kids.
Yeah. So you both work out of the home?
Yes.
Okay. But you say that the parenting duties aren't equitably split, are not even close to that.
Correct.
Okay. Mrs. Dulac, he's claiming you're not doing your maternal duties. What's up with that?
No, that's absolutely untrue, Your Honor. I mean, I work full-time. I travel for work. I don't have as much of a flexible schedule as my husband does. You know, he chooses to work from home. He has a more lenient schedule. He's chosen to homeschool our children and also put them in sports, which is a great thing, but I haven't signed up for that. I have a boss that I report to. I have meetings that I need to attend to, and I just don't have time to spend with them during the week. I'm just
on
not
a practical level, is anything she's saying true? And think about it. You know what I mean? If you have a boss where you have to report, you do not have the flexibility of a person who works out of the home and answers to himself.
She has the choice to make when it comes on to her boss. Yes, she does have a boss, but she can, say no to her boss from time to time. When her boss comes in town for 2 or 3 days, they spend the whole day together, all right, looking at work, working together, and then her boss is going to ask her, let's go out for dinner. All right, and she could say no. She doesn't have to go out to dinner with her boss. She could come home and see me, help me with the kids, spend time with the kids, but she chooses to go to have dinner with her boss. She's basically her driver. Her boss wants to go see the city. She takes her an hour away. She comes home late at night. She wants to go to the gym in the morning. So it's a lot of
if your boss comes in for a couple of days, I'm all about making the boss happy, because boss not happy, boss finds somebody else.
I understand.
And I don't want to be without a job.
Exactly.
She's got to make me happy, too, to some extent.
I understand that, but, when you're working and you're the primary breadwinner, which I take it she is.
Well, it's pretty much half and half, Your Honor.
Is it pretty much half and half?
I work from home, and I don't get frazzled as often as she does. I can take more time with the kids, I can juggle a few more things.
By choice.
Do you do anything at all with the kids? I mean, are you absent?
No, not at all, Your Honor. I mean, I work from home, but I try as best as I can to be present with the kids, but,
What do you do with them? Do you take them to practices?
I try to. I mean, on the weekends, I don't have a choice but to take them to practice, because my husband has signed them up for so many sports, and we have 3 boys. They're very active and very athletic, so oftentimes our weekends are split between busing the kids to different sports, to hockey and to soccer.
Yeah.
And as much as I try to enjoy it, it's not really something that I would like to do. I'd love to just have free time with them, one-on-one time with them, to take them wherever they want to go.
You think they're overscheduled, is what you're saying?
I do think that they're overscheduled.
Are they overscheduled, or are you simply just not interested in sitting through all that practice? Because I know how it is. You go to a track meet, your kid runs for 4 seconds, and you there for 5 hours waiting for him to pass by that one time. It's just awful.
Exactly. In the beginning, I was completely on board with being an in-house hockey mom. But then my husband has his dream to make them all hockey players, so he just wants to travel with them and go all over the city as a hockey parent, and I obviously have to be one of the parents to trudge along the hockey bags and drive them all around town.
But at the same time, when we have a tournament, she enjoys coming to tournament. She goes, that's a great thing. We spend time together 2 nights if we have to go out of town or far with the kids at a hotel, and she's having fun. She goes, this is fun. But when it's time to put in the time and effort into it to take him to practice, because she's proud to say, my son plays hockey. He does this. She posted on social media. It looks really good.
It's also
but she's not doing the scut work. She's not doing the difficult, the everyday practice, la 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 la.
And I understand she travels for work. He gives her a break. It's fun. But when it's time, to I mean, our kids, they're our children. You know, work is first, yes, but our family, I believe, is also should be a very important part of your life.
I'm not disagreeing that family is important, but I just didn't sign up to hang out at a hockey rink all weekend.
But when you have children, you pretty much sign up for that kind of thing, either that or jail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't keep little boys busy or little girls busy, they go out and do whatever. They just do. I mean, I think that's what's wrong with a lot of people parenting this day. They say, I take care of my kids, and they, you know, put clothes on them and make sure they're not hungry. But other than that, they're just running, you know, hither and yon. And the next thing you know, I don't know why little Johnny went to jail. I tell you why little Johnny went to jail. Little Johnny went to jail because y'all didn't, you know, fill up his time with things that are worthwhile. Ms. Dulac, why don't you tell me, now that I'm done with that, why don't you tell me what your main complaint about Mr. Dulac is?
He just makes me feel like a useless parent, you know, because he's so controlling when it comes to the boys. He just has to dictate everything that I have to do when it comes to, like, cutting their food, you know. Like, we'll be at a restaurant, and he'll be like, why don't you cut it smaller? It's like, you know, don't you think I know how to cut my children's food? You know, I don't have to stand there and, you know, watch them brush their teeth every night.
Are you a hovering kind of dad? Are you a helicopter
Super
pop?
controlling.
I'm more the one that has to put my foot down when it's time with the kids and their schedule and when they go to bed and when it's time to get up in the morning and everything that has to
Do you tell her how small to cut the children's food?
No.
Yes, you
maybe
do.
I did once. Maybe. I don't know. But I don't remember. Maybe.
Other than parenting issues, why don't you tell me what your concerns are?
Well, which ties into the sporting arena. She likes to work out and take care of herself, and that's great. I love it. I appreciate it. And now she started doing Tough Mothers. You know, those adventures you're going to go. It's like very physical and demanding for your body. It's like an 8 to 10 mile run. And she did it locally, and that was great. That takes like a day and a half, so it's like usually the weekend. So she takes time for herself to go. And now she is doing one out of town. And now they're talking about her and her group to do another one or 2 more, 3 more next year out of town. So on top of traveling for work, now on the weekend sometimes, you know, I'm left, you know, juggling 3 kids while she's over there taking like 2 or 3 days with her friends from Tough Mothers to go do those events. So
you want to respond to that, Ms. Dulac?
Yes, Your Honor. I mean, in my defense, I have been pregnant and breastfeeding for the last 4 years straight. And one day I just decided to have a healthy lifestyle and to eat better and to exercise, and it became part of who I am today, which helps me get through a lot of my stresses. So I like to work out very early in the morning, and Tough Mudder helps me stay focused on my fitness goals. And I've made friends, I've made great camaraderie through it, and you know, once you do one, you just sort of want to challenge yourself to do more.
Do another. I got you.
Well, there's also another issue called, you know, her mother is with us, and I try to do my best, but her mom is always down here breathing down her neck and always nagging. Why aren't the kids bigger? Why don't they eat more?
Divorce isn't easy. If you need help with your breakup, call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. So this Tough Mudder, and
Yes.
it's M-U-D-D-E-R.
Mudder, yes.
I thought you were saying tough mother for a minute. Tough
It's
mudder.
the Canadian accent.
And I understand you have a picture of you being a tough mudder. Oh my. I mean, commando ninja stuff.
Yes.
Good for you.
Thank
Good for you.
Thank you.
I think what I'm hearing from him, though, is you're interested in your career, in your physicality, in your enjoyment, to the exclusion of your family.
No, I think that's one-sided, Your Honor, because I make sure that I do everything before the break of dawn, before anybody wakes up in the house. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I have a 5 o'clock gym schedule that I stick to, and I'm home at 6:30 to make sure the coffee maker is on for him and to make sure that the kids are fed breakfast.
You feed him breakfast every morning?
I do, while he's still sleeping. So I make it work.
Not every morning, Your
So
Honor.
I can
Yeah,
look
it happens
hot
that
for my
she
husband.
comes home early. Yes, sometimes she's not there. When she is on the road and stuff, obviously she's not there. But when she goes some mornings, she's going to stay. Can I go to farmer's market after working out? Can I go do a run on a Sunday morning? Can I?
So I can feed you
So-
guys.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to buy groceries.
I think that different types of people have different types of relationships with their kids. And I was like a tethered mom, more like you. I homeschooled when I'm at the end, And my husband wasn't so much. But I'm different than he is. And everybody's not, it's not going to be a 50-50 deal. It's whoever's better at doing whatever it is you need to do. Like when they were smaller, he was better with them because they made me crazy. You know what I mean? So it's not always going to be you do half and I do half. Everybody got to do what they're good at. And sometimes what you're good at is more tethered to the children. Are you with me on that? Other than the kids, does anything about her annoy you? Because she looks good. She seems nice. She makes
nice.
money. Give me a reason to be here.
Well, there's also another issue called, her mother is with us, Lola, so that's another issue that we have, that when, she leaves on work and I try to do my best, but her mom is always down here breathing down her neck and always nagging, never...
Well, what's she talking about?
Well, why aren't the kids bigger? Why don't they eat more?
Why aren't the
don't
kids
they have,
bigger?
She thinks that they're malnourished because they're lean, and athletic. They don't have fat
Excuse
on
me,
them.
does your mother really say, why aren't the kids bigger?
Yeah, her mindset is if they're stockier, they're healthier, and we have really lean boys. They're very, active, and they eat all the time, every day. They're bottomless pits, but they don't gain weight. And
when your mother is living in your house
Yeah.
with your man, that's your problem to solve.
Yes.
And so if mama's mouthy,
Yeah.
it's your job to make sure she buttons up. Because that's y'all's home. And the sanctity of it must be guarded. And whoever's bringing the relative in is responsible for the relative that they bring.
Yes.
You got that part?
I understand. Yeah, she is like my fourth child, my mom now. Because I take care of her, and when she likes to intervene like that, I definitely put her in her place. But it can become very straining sometimes because she doesn't really like to keep her to herself. She likes to get involved in a relationship and finances.
Does she help with the kids?
No,
No,
she can't. The
she's
kids
not
would run
physically
around
able.
and they could tie her up and just do what they want with her.
She hurt herself trying to. Yeah,
Sorry to say
she hurt herself recently trying to spank one of them.
Yeah. No,
They wouldn't tie up grandma, would they?
Yes, they would.
I think they would.
They really would.
Okay. You worried that the kids are going to tie up mama and tear up the jewelry store. But you can't take your kids in the jewelry store for fear of them damaging the cases?
Yes.
If you would like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. So while we're on the subject of your mother, I understand that she has very expensive tastes and that neither she nor you can afford her. Do you want to tell me about that?
She went to the mall one time. She wanted to exchange her gold for money. She wasn't wearing her gold anymore. It hurts her finger to put the jewelry on, so she wanted to go to the mall and get some money in exchange for her gold. And the store was going to give her approximately $600 for her gold, and she was appalled to the idea. It's worth 3 times that. So my wife stepped out of the store to take care of the kids for 10 minutes, and next thing we know, Lola comes back out with a big ring on her finger, and we're like, what is this? And she's like, well, she said she would give me twice the value of my gold if I would pick a ring from the store. So instead of getting money back, we got out with a bill of $3,500 plus the ring. And we're like, oh, so we always need to keep
an eye on her.
Keep an eye, even for 5 minutes.
Now, did that happen?
It did happen, Your Honor. My mom, she's not very good at managing her finances, unfortunately.
And apparently.
No, she was supposed to go in and trade her gold in for some cash, and what happened was she ended up buying a more expensive ring. I was livid out of my mind, and we tried to find a solution to the problem. She had some people.
Could you take it back?
We could not take it back. They took advantage of her, just in the jewelry store. I couldn't have my kids running around in a jewelry store you know, banging on the glass and everything. So I took him to the food court, and when I came back, she had
Now,
a more expensive ring.
wait a minute. Y'all just said a couple of things that just whizzed by me, and I want to stop and turn around and address them. You worried that the kids are going to tie up mama and tear up the jewelry store. Are they well behaved?
They will behave. I wasn't there when that happened with my mother-in-law for the jewelry, so
I mean, but you can't take your kids in a jewelry store for fear of them damaging the cases?
Yes.
I take them. I take them with me. You know, I can control them better if you want me to
Because
say.
he's on top of them constantly. And I mean, I just have a different style. I don't like to yell in public, because then I'd rather pull them away from the situation. You know, I'm just more of a calm parent that way. I don't like to just jump on them as my husband would do in public and just, you know.
Jump, but I would
Ms.
just tell them to
Dulac,
stay
let me
in
tell
their
you
place.
something. My son wears a size 14 shoe. When you got boys, you got to establish authority early.
Yeah.
You got to have it so that you give them and everything stops. And you can't do that if you're soft with them.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because soon, very soon, they'll be bigger than you. And then those hormones in the back of their head are going to start talking to them. Hey, you know, I could take her. I could see them think, you know, I'm 16.
Yeah.
She's down here. I'm up here. Why do I have to listen to her? You know, their hormones start telling them that. You gotta, you know, you gotta be busy. They got to know they can't fool with you.
Yeah, I think
Because they get confused when they turn 14, 15, 16.
Right.
So don't, you know, pull some ninja on them.
I
Get 'em
gotta
straight.
unleash the tough mutter on them.
Yeah, absolutely. In divorce court, people tell me the most intimate details of their lives. Join the conversation and share your experience on our Twitter page @DivorceCourt and on our Facebook page. See how fans deal with their own relationships. The discussion can get heated. Don't miss it. I think you're two good people with 3 great kids and a little shaky mama you got to keep your eyes on. You know, it's difficult when you are managing 3 generations worth of people. You know, you've got the older parent. You know, I'm dealing with that now. You know, my mom's around my house. She's in good shape, too. She got 20/20 vision. Man, mama can handle herself. But as they get older, you have to take more care of them, and that's a very difficult sandwich place to be. I think that you might be of a better temperament for the constant ongoing care of children. And sometimes it just happens that way. And sometimes you just got to fill in the role that you best play. And you can't be worried about the allocation of time. She doesn't seem to be a neglectful mother. She seems to be a woman that has a full and meaningful life, and you ought to give a whoop whoop about that. So, because she's not looking at you to entertain her. You know, I got to feel good about myself. You don't call me, but she ain't worried about that, which is really, a lot of guys got to deal with a lot of that stuff, and it's not always a lot of fun. So you got a wonderful woman here. You got 3 kids. Enjoy your role is the main thing in your your child's life. It's a fabulous thing. There'll be memories that you will cherish forever, and you know, give them a break sometime. You know what I mean? You tell your boss, like, man, I got to get home and get with these kids because my husband's about to lose his mind. Yeah. You know what I mean? You have to make as many, though I'm sure you are not, I think you're a great mother. But every once in a while, you got to be a little bit more involved if the other guy's carrying the bulk of the weight. But other than that, I wish you all the best. I think your kids are going to do great. I hope they turn into Wayne Gretzky, and this matter is adjourned. You know, when you get married, everybody gets a role. They have roles that they have to do, and sometimes they get old, stale, and tired, especially when you have children. But you kind of got to ride those things out, because once you have children, you don't have a choice. Call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222.